Did you just sit here and say that my daughter looks miserable, so maybe we should put Kalani in her place?
No, I never said that.
Yes, you most certainly did.
No, I didn't, dingbat. Listen, I said, Brooke, is your mother speaking for you?
Get
Do you
your finger out of my face. Girls out there.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is your first time here, welcome to my beauty entertainment channel. I'm about to have so much fun. Oh my god. Alright, so before I start, if you'd like to follow me on social media, here is my Twitter and my Instagram for your enjoyment. Have so much fun with that, okay? And while you're here, you should check out some of my recent videos that I've done. They're probably on your screen somewhere, but that's not what this video is about. So if you're new to my channel, you don't know what series I do, this is another installment of my Everything Wrong with Blank. I take a television show, whether it can be anything. I've done like kids shows and I've also done like adult shows. So I take a TV show and I talk about it and I analyze it and I share my unwarranted and unwanted opinions on the internet. So we're doing it again, and I'm the most excited I've ever been for one of these. So let's get into this gig. Today's installment of the Everything Wrong with Blank series is Dance Moms. I'm so excited. Cultural reset. So in case you don't know what Dance Moms is, probably everyone knows what Dance Moms. I hope by now. Dance Moms is a reality TV show, obviously, focused around the Abbey Lee Dance Company elite competition team. So Dance Moms started back in 2011, and it's still going on right now, but it's all new girls. None of the original girls are there, so yeah, I won't be focusing on that. I'm gonna be focusing on the seasons where the original girls who made the show what it is, because they made the show what it is. I'm gonna be focusing on those seasons. So this show focuses on the talents and the gifts of the Abbey Lee Dance Company elite competition team. So now, on paper, you might be like, that sounds kind of boring. It's not. Why it's called Dance Moms is because these super talented girls have some of the craziest stage moms of all time. Yep, I said it. And it also doesn't help that the woman at the center of all this, Abby Lee Miller, is an interesting coach. I'll talk more about her later, but just to give you a little tease. So, in my opinion, this is one of the best, if not the best reality show of all time, period. This show, the other reality shows wish they had what Dance Moms have. They wish they had the cultural impact that Dance Moms have. They wish they were able to create the drama that was on Dance Moms. It was so well done. This show is so tumultuous, so get ready for a ride. It's an emotional roller coaster. And just so you know, if you haven't seen all the episodes of Dance Moms are on Lifetime if you have a cable provider, so that's where I watch the show. So, you know, just wanted to let you know that's where they are. All the episodes are there. Hulu only has this new season, so who cares? But the old episodes are on Lifetime if you would like to check those out. So, because this is I have to say disclaimer, because people love to come in my comments crazy, disclaimer. Because this is a reality show, I want to first start off by saying I don't know these people. I don't know these people. I have never met any of these people. They all seem like nice people except for a couple, but I'll talk about that more in a second. I don't know any of these people. I will probably never know any of these people. I am going based off of what we received as an audience on the show. So before anyone tells me, I know reality TV is faked. That's why I kind of feel comfortable enough to do this, because their characters were so obviously heavily exaggerated. They turned more into characters than their actual probable personalities. So I just want to put that out there first. I don't know any of these people. All seem super nice except for a couple, but okay, I don't know any of them. I'm just speaking from what information I received from the television show that I watch every single week for about 5 years. Yes, Dance Moms stan. Come on now. Cheat.
When we dunked Abby, it wasn't just Abby going in the dunk tank, it was a sea creature. A big and powerful sea creature. It's the truth.
So first, I'm gonna start with the dancers who are the actual talent. of the show, because let's not forget the show is about dancers. Everyone like focuses on the mom, and I'm like, well, the girls kind of made the show what it was. And just before I start, again, another disclaimer. All of these girls are super talented in their own right. Like, come on, please. So I can see comments coming already, and I'm like, they're all talented. All right. So let's start with the girls who were brought into the show that are not part of the original group of girls. So first I'm gonna start with JoJo Siwa. What a journey we have taken with JoJo Siwa. I wouldn't have thought, no, I don't think you would have thought either she'd be the most famous Dance Moms girl. And she went from being Abby's scapegoat, because that's what she was, to a multi-million-dollar child superstar. So good for her. There's not much to really say about JoJo Siwa except for the fact that Abby treated her like garbage. Go back and watch the show. Abby kind of honed in all her hate. She had people who she hated every single season, but they kept on leaving, and Abby needed a child to project on. So JoJo Siwa in the later seasons was Abby's choice of a child to project all her childhood insecurities on. Okay. Next, Sophia. If you don't remember Sophia was a dancer that came on in season 3, and she was basically brought on to shake the world up. She shook up a storm. Now, she didn't shake it up as much as a girl, but I'll talk about in a second, but she really took the blinders off of Abby in terms of that talent doesn't just stop in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She kind of took the blinders off of Abby, and I think bringing Sophia on started Abby's whole mission and planted the idea in her head that she can now start taking talent from other studios, which had been something that was just Kathy's thing previously. But Abby said, I want a cut, I want a percentage, I want the talent. So rather than utilize the talent in her own studio, she decided to literally leech and steal and rob other studios and take their super talented dancers. So Sophia, super nice girl, shook up the table tremendously. Wow, world record holder. That enough said. World record holder, enough said. Moving on. Next is Kalani. So Kalani, in my opinion, was too good for this team. Not just because she was too advanced, and also she was like Brooke's, she wasn't Brooke's age, but she was like old compared to the rest of the girls. So that was the reason she was so much better than the rest of the girls. And Abby, no one ever discusses that. Everyone's like, Kalani's one of the best dancers, and it's like, well, obviously she's like 2, 3, 4 years older than most of the girls on the team. Her and her mother, I mean, they shook the team up a little bit, not as much. The thing is, they shook up the team enough. They didn't do it as much as the girl I'm about to get to. You already know who it is. But they shook it up enough because she was talented enough. But the reason why they couldn't is because Abby made it her mission to make sure she did not want anyone to compete against Maddie. She didn't. Kalani was brought there as a prop to be used to make Maddie look not so far advanced from the rest of the girls. She needed another girl who was at Maddie's talent level. Okay. But when her mother was like, when are we gonna go against Maddie? I thought she wanted to bring somebody here to compete against Maddie and make her better. Abby is a liar. Abby had no intention of ever doing that. She wanted someone else who could help raise the technique score of her team because it was falling rapidly. Okay. Next, the last girl who was brought on that I'm going to talk about, Miss Asia, cultural reset. I'm sorry. Finally, when I was watching this show live, I was like, these girls are so boring. Sorry. Okay, so before Asia came on, the team was of course incredible. They're all incredible, but there was an element of performance that was missing on the Abby Lee Dance Company Elite Junior Competition team, because that's their name. They don't have a shorter name for me to say. Asia brought fire. Asia brought the performance ability that all of these girls, all of them, were missing. She brought life to the stage, and I will say this with my chest, this team was at its peak around season 3, season 4, and I fully hold it. I think Asia is responsible for most of that, because when she was brought in, she was able to perform in a way that had the other mothers confused, because Asia was like young, and she also did not have the best technique, and she also did not have the most skills on the team. So why was she always winning? Because she was putting on a show. And what it taught the other girls is like, hey, your technique can be great, your skills can be great, you can do 10,000 gajillion turns, but if you're not gonna give on a show for the audience or the judges, it's useless. It's completely useless. And that's what Asia did. I'm chalking it all up to Asia. This team's bread and butter, the whole team's bread and butter was the pretty lyrical contemporary with the same like face and the super happy-go-lucky or like sad. There was not a lot of depth. There wasn't a lot of depth to the dances that they did. So they pretty much usually avoided jazz, or if they did do jazz, it was a heavy Maddie lead, because a lot of the other girls did not have that same ability to perform. Then when Asia came in, she showed them how it was done. Now I'm gonna talk about the original girls, because there's a lot to unpack here. I just wanted to say, it'll be obvious when I talk about them, some clearly had better experience from like an outsider's point of view, had a better experience on the show than a lot of the other girls. Especially when I was writing this, I was like, some of these girls were treated like garbage. Garbage. All right, I'm starting with Kendall. So Kendall is nice, I guess, but we've seen some like tell-alls from some like of the later seasons Dance Moms girls who would say stuff like Kendall was a bit mean, and I'm just like, okay, that kind of, she would have some, her and her mom, I'll talk about Jill later, some snide comments, and she was always crying. She was always crying, and I know, but the thing is, the thing that I forgot when I was watching the show again, I think as a collective audience and viewers, we forgot just how young Kendall was. She was 8. She was 8 when she first came to Abby, and I think it was more of like she was really tall. She wasn't even really tall, she was just tall, so it made her look like she was Chloe's age, but she was not. She was 8 years old when she first showed up there. So I'll give her the benefit of the doubt in that aspect, and maybe that's why she cried so much, but she even kept doing it when she was older, and I was like, okay. But back to the dancing it matter. Kendall got Maddie rejects for all of her solo. Every single solo she got up until a certain point were all Maddie rejects, and it was so infuriating. Only Chloe, Maddie, and Brooke got dances made for them. Wait, I'll talk about that more in a second. She was given Maddie rejects. Step 1 in setting Kendall up to fail. Nobody can do a dance like Maddie because nobody dances like Maddie, and that's okay. Kendall dances like Kendall. In my opinion, I don't think Kendall did, I think Kendall's strong suit was leaning towards more jazz, and it took them until pretty much season 4 to realize that when they had to do those 45-second auditions for the national solo, and Kendall and Jill chose to do her applause solo, excellent choice. That is what Kendall does well. Pretty girl jazz. She does that well. Lyrical, trying to be Maddie, it's not working. It never worked. It never worked. And then Abby would use that against her and be like, see, you didn't do it as well as Maddie could have. And it all boils down to the mothers. The mothers, Jill was trying to push this new Maddie nonsense. And why can't your daughter just be Kendall? Why can't your daughter just be Kendall? I'll talk about that when I get to her. And Kendall, Abby said this in a pyramid in season 3, the end of season 3. Kendall is a kind of inconsistent dancer. Whenever she dances to the best of her own ability, it's perfect. It's not perfect, but it's better. It's very, very good. But that didn't happen all of the time. When Kendall hits a turn, she's hitting a turn, and it's good. It's good, but it was never all of the time. It wasn't that strong. Kendall was one on Abby's hit list for a hot minute. Abby was taking out all sorts of insecurities on this little girl, especially because her mother was off. Mother was a little. I'm getting to Jill. So the next girl I'm going to talk about is Paige. Paige was What is a word that can describe emotional destruction in front of millions of people every single week? Whatever word that is, that's what I'm looking for. This girl was attacked. Abby hated. I don't know why. I know it's Kelly. That's why. Projection. That's why. Paige, gorgeous girl, could have been an incredible child actor, could have been a print model, but you know, she wanted to be a dancer. Paige is the one that Abby kept setting up, if we're gonna be perfectly honest. Paige got garbage choreography. She got Mackenzie rejects. Run that back. Paige got Mackenzie, as in the youngest child on the team. She got Mackenzie rejects for all of her solos. How does that make any sort of sense? Please, she got like baby down routine. Now, the reason for that might be because Paige could not remember a solo to save her life. She was constantly forgetting solos, so that might be a reason why, but still, I still don't understand why she was doing routines that Mackenzie wouldn't even do. That makes no sense to me. That makes absolutely no sense to me. She was 11 going on 12, doing those childish gymnastics routine that makes no type of sense. And also, we can talk about how in the junior in any category, pretty much, stuff like that doesn't win. So it was a double setup. The thing is, sometime in there's a group dance that I'll talk about. I'm gonna talk about right now in season three, where it was a gold digger routine, and it was like jazzy and sassy and snaps, and Paige was front and center because that is what she excelled at. Where was that energy in the solos? No, it had to be front limber, chin stand. That's what it had to. Why? That made no. Paige is garbage. I have to move on before I get upset. Next, I'm moving on to Brooke. Incredible, once in a lifetime talent, and the flame was snuffed out by Abby and her mother. I'm saying it, once in a lifetime. Here's the thing, Brooke didn't care about dance. I think she cared just a little bit, but from an outsider perspective, it looked like she didn't care. And she was still that good. All of her solos placed, most won, without a care in the world. God-given talent. That's pure, undeniable, raw talent. You don't care. You have no sort of emph into it, and you're still winning. It's so, because the thing is, her technique, no matter how much you didn't care and didn't try, the technique was always there, because it's been there since. Kelly always says she was the old Maddie. Okay, Kelly. And that's probably why her technique and feet are so good. She has the ability. Y'all just snuffed out her flame. Y'all, all the shenanigans that happened on the show, especially surrounded Brooke, Paige, and Kelly and Abby, that whole situation was an absolute disaster, and is single-handedly the reason why this flame was snuffed. Whenever her mother and Abby got into fights, though it was always the most tumultuous thing that ever happened on the show, the Kelly versus Abby ridiculousness. Whenever those happened, Brooke, there was one, especially the last one that, ended it all. Brooke was crying. She was wailing. So it's like, clearly she still wants to be, she's been here for 4 years and longer, but on the show for 4 years, she clearly still wants to be there. She even would still do well. Not the best, but she would do well in these group routines without a care in the world. Without a care in the world, was still front row. That means there's undeniable raw talent there, and it was snuffed out. It was snuffed out by Abby, and it was snuffed out by her mom. And she wasn't able, because the reason everyone was like, Brooke, you don't use your face. Let me tell you why. How are you going to be able to freely express yourself in your face when you can't freely express yourself in your own life because your dance teacher and your mother are in constant disagreement? Tell me how you would have done that. Tell me how you would have expressed yourself emotionally freely in this sort of situation. You couldn't have. You couldn't have. Nobody could have, because it would have been ridiculous. Okay? Moving on. Mackenzie. Asia was needed. Asia was needed because Mackenzie was already extraordinarily talented, but she needed it to click. It needed to click. And when Asia came, it clicked. Immediately, she said, oh, shoot. She said, oh. Season 3 is when I started. I already liked Mackenzie. She's adorable. She's an adorable little girl. I already liked Mackenzie, but season 3, I started to like her a lot more. And then when she did Maddie's cry solo, became a stan. Let's talk about it. Abby set her ass up. Abby, this is my thing with Abby, is such a vindictive little woman. She set Mackenzie up by doing Maddie's cry solo, because that's a routine Maddie is well renowned for, obviously. I mean, it's the cry solo. So she was setting her up in the ability to be like, oh, Maddie did it better. Maddie's better than you in every sort of way. Clearly digging at an insecurity, a common insecurity of the younger sibling. Are you kidding me? And when she did it, when she went on that stage and she killed it, I said, that's it. I said, that's it, Mackenzie stan, because she was set up doing Maddie's cry solo at a dance competition. How is that not a setup? How is that not a setup? And she went and she won. She literally shut everybody up. She shut Abby. Abby was prepared to come into the dressing room and yell. She did yell a little bit, but not as much as she thought she was going to. Because Mackenzie said, you know what? You won't bring me down. I am not like Maddie. I am Mackenzie. I dance how Mackenzie dances. Wow. No, that made me a stan. I was like, you were that girl. You were that girl for doing that. And then in season 4, Mackenzie kind of came into her own. She like found her own style of dance, which I love. Mackenzie, once Asia came, Mackenzie became an entertainer. She became that, Asia. Asia did this to all of them. She brought on the entertainment aspect, and all her routines are so like fun to watch. You're so intrigued the whole time. Oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. The thing is, when I got Mackenzie, Abby was a complete demon to this little girl. Are you kidding me? Just because her older sister is your favorite does not mean she's gonna turn into Maddie. This is Mackenzie. This is Mackenzie, different person. Abby was taking out, is Abby an only child or is she a younger sibling? Because there was a lot of projection issues onto Mackenzie every single day. Always going where it hurts deep. Abby loved to pinpoint all of these children's insecurities and use them to her own advantage. These girls are all under the age of like 13 when the show started. Why would you do that, Abby? Oh, I know why. And Mackenzie said, I'm not the one. I am not the one. You cannot tear me down. Stan. I do stan her. Next, I'm gonna move on to Maddie. Please stop denying the talent. There's a reason Maddie was always in the front. There's a reason Maddie was the favorite. Stop denying the talent. Stop it. Stop it. Maddie made it look easy, and that's what made her the best performer out of this group. She made it look effortless. Everything flowed. It looked effortless and weightless. She's not frigid and she is not stiff, which a lot of these girls were. She flowed through every single position and made it look breathtaking. Honestly, I think she's one of the only girls on there that has rhythm. I think a lot of them are just really good at remembering choreography and they're good dancers, but the rhythm is lacking because she was one of the only ones who was able to hear and understand and move to music. She was one of the only ones who had the ability to do that. As I've rewatched the show at least 5 times by now, I'm like, she's the only one who can hear music. Honestly, truly. And that's why she was always the lead. Stop being naive. Stop it. Stop. Everyone needs to stop it. That's why she was always the lead. And she also was Abby's favorite, so that's what happened. I also think she is the only dancer, pretty much, especially at the start, who could do hard jazz routines. A lot of the girls could do easy jazz routines, but Maddie could do hard difficult jazz routines because she had the level of technique, the high level of technique, but she also would be able to perform. What you need is in a jazz routine is to be able to sell it to the audience. Lyrical, you can kind of just be like, oh, happy, 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 but in order to like do a jazz routine, you got to be a little, get out some fire, some fire. But Maddie's fire was allowed to burn. That is the difference between her and a lot of these dancers. That's what being the favorite gives you. That's what being well liked gives you. The ability to let your creative expression flow free. There was nothing hindering Maddie. There was not a person hindering Maddie. Her mom wasn't hindering her. Abby wasn't hindering her. They were letting her flow free. The only child that was allowed to freely express himself on this show. Now, I don't know what it actually was in real life, but I'm talking about like in terms of dancing ability. That's what I meant. And I have so much respect for Maddie because she kept having to apologize for her talent. She kept having to apologize for her talent to 40-year-old women. She kept having to apologize for being a talented child. For what? I don't like that. I don't like how they always place the blame on her. Talk to Abby if you're so upset. Talk to Abby if you're so upset. The girl is talented. Why should she be ashamed of that? Now, was Maddie cocky in season 1? Yes. But when she forgot her solo in season 2 and ran off the stage, humbled her and made her a completely better dancer by far. By far, it was more, I don't know if she was cocky because she was like 8. I don't know. Can an 8-year-old be cocky? Yes. She was a little cocky in season 1. Then as soon as she forgot her dance and was humbled, leaps and bounds, leaps and bounds. And my favorite Maddie moment ever, it was in season 4 towards the end. It was when those grown women from Candy Apple's dance, Who the Hell Cares, were walking past. They were doing the chandelier routine. Losers. You can't come up with an original idea, Kathy? Loser. They were walking past and trying to psych her out by playing her chandelier music. Her. She was the one in the video. And then they were walking past trying to psych her out, and then Maddie busts out the whole routine in the dressing room. You're trying to psych out an 11-year-old. You're a loser. You're a loser. There's no other word to describe how horrid you must feel about yourself to go try to psych out an 11-year-old. You're pathetic. Oh my God. And she busted out the whole routine seamlessly in the middle of the dressing room. That's how you clear a bitch. That's how you clear a bitch. Oh, what a great moment in time. Next girl I'm talking about is my girl, Nyma, period. Again, with the Mackenzie rejects. I don't understand. I don't understand why her and Paige were continuing. I don't understand why they were doing those 5-year-old, especially Nyma, because it kept on happening. Those 5-year-old gymnastics, front limber, chin stand, front limber, chin stand, ridiculous childish routines up until the age of 12. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. Her best routine, there were 2 of them. One was the Maya Angelou routine, and the other was the Broadway Baby dedication routine. Nyma just does jazz well. Nyma can perform. Nyma, don't deny this. Everyone loves it. Everyone's gonna be like, well, Nyma is a performer. Have you ever watched Nyma solo and been bored? She's delivering you in the face. The face, it is always there. Always there. And does she get any credit for it? No. And we're gonna get to why. She got paid dust. And the thing is, whenever Nyma was a lead in a group routine, it won. It won, and she got no credit for it. Whenever Nyma was the lead in a group routine, it won. I wonder why. I wonder why, Abby. I wonder why. Why did Nyma get paid dust? Why did Nyma get paid dust? Why did Nyma get paid dust? Why? I wonder what the reason could be. I need to take a breather. I need to take a breather for a second. So from season 1, Nyma was typecast, Every single time Abby wanted to do something ridiculous, Nia was put in it just to be, I don't know, quirky, funny, doesn't make any sort of sense. She was always playing an animal. In her solos with Mackenzie, circus, why was she was the lion? Why was she always playing an animal, Abby? What was the reason for that? Why, season 4, was Nia a dog? She had a solo where she was a dog. She was wearing a dog collar. Abby, she was playing a dog. How do you not see that? How do you not, she was playing a dog. And in the episode, Abby made her bark on television. What is that? And this is the thing, these are only the things that we saw as viewers. Who the hell knows what Abby was doing when the cameras were not there? Who knows what they edited out? Bless Nia's heart. Bless Nia's heart. Microaggression after microaggression after it was just constant. Do we not remember the scene where Abby said to a 10-year-old Nia, said to her mother, fix this hair because it is horrible. Talking about Nia's box braids. Because I remember that scene. I certainly do remember that scene. It's painful to watch now as an adult. Painful. I knew it was painful when I was watching it the first time. It's even more painful to see a grown woman talking to a 10-year-old child like that, calling her hair horrible. And that's just what we saw. Nia was enduring microaggressions from Abby, from the mothers, and maybe from the girls. I don't know. They had probably edited a lot of it out. She was the bully in one dance. And then Holly said absolutely the hell not. Holly said absolutely the hell, we're not doing this. She was a kidnapper in another dance. And the thing that was the saddest is that when Holly would get upset at the fact that Abby was typecasting her, she would be like, I can't say anything because this is the only roles that Nia gets. The only chances to ever be featured are typecast roles with racist undertones. And Holly'd be like, I don't want to take this away from Nia, but it's like, what wins? What wins? Those are her only opportunities to dance. Abby is nuts. A dog collar. She had her wearing a dog collar and barking on national television. Does that sit right with you? It shouldn't. It shouldn't. It shouldn't at all. And it still makes me angry, visibly angry to this day. I'm quieting down because I'm so upset. And the other moms love to make little snide, especially Jill, love to make little snide remarks about Nia and her dancing, as if their daughters were good. I could go there. I could absolutely go there. They would always make these snide little remarks about how Nia is bad. I'm like, do we want to go there? Do we want to go there, Jill? Because I will. I will if I absolutely have to. And they would never understand why Holly was like upset that her daughter was playing a bully or a kidnapper or being typecast every 6 seconds. They'd be like, well, why are you mad, Holly? At least she has a role. Are we serious? That's why. I don't do it. Are you kidding me? Why was Abby always talking about the Lion King with Nia? Always. She, Lion King this, Lion King that. If they want to cast the Lion King, I'm going to send them Nia. Lion King, animals, always animals, Abby. Why is that? And I will save this for later, Rosa Parks episode. That's enough said. I don't have to say anything more. The fact that Abby even entertained any other child to play Rosa Parks is inane. Inane. It is ludicrous that she even entertained the thought. The next child I'm going to be talking about is Chloe. Chloe deserved more. Chloe deserved more. And both Abby and her mother are at fault. Let's go. Yes, I said both. I really hope this show didn't affect her confidence in the way that it had the potential to, because Chloe had a talent that none of the other girls had. Her dancing ability was the highest on the team. I said what I said. I said, go look at the evidence. Go look at the material. Dancing ability, the technique is higher than any other girl on the team. And Abby was too afraid to admit it, that Chloe had the highest technique and the highest dancing ability on the team. She was better than Maddie. It was proved when they did the exact same routine, That was actually a pretty fair routine. It had classic Maddie and classic Chloe steps. That was one of Abby's fairest routines. And she won. She won. When she won, she looked the happiest I think I've ever seen Chloe look on this show. And then Abby ripped it away from her. I fully believe she did. They even proved it. Abby went to the judges and said, this isn't right. Are you kidding me, Abby? You can't lose. She was better. Chloe was better. The routine was more entertaining. She was better. The dancing ability was better. That's why she won. She went to the judges and said, you guys did this wrong. I know better, even though I'm not the judge of this competition. I just know better because I'm Abby Lee Miller. In the confessional, after Abby went and had the judges come in and change the score, Chloe looked broken. The word I'm using is broken, because it looked like she was broke. Abby ruined it. Abby had some sort of vindictive tirade after this child. And for what, Abby? What are you mad at? Chloe turns like a top. The girl, no one is touching Chloe when it comes to turning. Have we ever seen her bobble a turn? Maybe once. Maybe once in this entire show we've seen Chloe bobble a turn. It's called being excellent at your craft. That's what it's called. Abby, emotional abuser. I'll say it. Why? Chloe's light was taken out of her eyes every single season. Constant ridicule and embarrassment. And for why? Because you didn't like her mom? Nobody likes it. What? Abby never cut Chloe any sort of slack, but she did it for a lot of the other girls. I will take you back to the Arabian Nights routine, that acro routine that they did, how Abby was hell-bent on putting a standing back tuck in that routine when Chloe could absolutely not do it. But for many other routines, she gave other girls passes when it came to, I don't know, important things like turning and jumps. She would give them passes, but with a standing back tuck that was not necessary to that actual horrible routine. Now there was an issue. She didn't put it in because she had maybe one ounce of common sense left. But that made me mad. You give grace to every other girl when it comes to actual important dancing, turns and jumps and leaps, not when it comes to a standing back tuck that wasn't necessary to the routine to begin with. And then this is where I wrote, in season 4, Abby turns into, she already was rude to Chloe. She turns pretty much evil in season 4 to Chloe. She was doing a lot. She was doing a lot, and I think it was to emotionally hurt the girl. I'm like, what else? Who are you really mad at? Because I know it's not this 11-year-old child who has done nothing but win you national title after national title. I know it's not her. Who are you really mad at? She beat her, when they brought in the new team, she beat her replacement twice. She beat her replacement tight, and Abby went to the judges again to ask if they had their heads screwed on straight. Are you kidding me, Abby? Are you kidding me? She tried to break her every single season. Starting with the Kendall versus Chloe shenanigans. Absolute shenanigans. Are you kidding me? Chloe versus Kendall? Are we... Do I need to say it? Do I need to say it? Chloe versus Kendall? Alright. Alright. It was clearly, that whole like, who's going for number 2 was clearly something to make Chloe feel insecure. That was clearly what it was. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Abby always picks someone to just project every single angry feeling she has towards the world instead of going to therapy. Instead of going to therapy, she projects it onto little kids. What is the issue? What is the issue? And so those are the kids. So it's clear that the kids, some kids had better experiences than other kids, and some had nearly terrible ones. And you know, they're not the issues. The kids are not the issues with the show. In fact, I hope they're all doing well. I hope the show didn't affect them in the way that it had the potential to. But yeah, let's move on to the actual issues with the show. The moms.
I am gonna leave. No. I am not gonna leave.
I can't talk about everything wrong with Dan's mom without bringing up these mothers. Some of them are ludicrous. Let's start. Christi Ray, that's Asia's mom. I loved her. She was not with the shit. She was not with the bullshit. She was the only mom who called Christi out on her hypocritical bullshit. The only mom who ever did it. And she was the only mom who never really changed anything about herself. She was kind of like, I'm here for my daughter. You all suck. And then she left. So I like Christi Ray. Next is Leslie. The reason why I'm putting I didn't put Peyton in the other girls because there isn't too much to say. She was a good dancer, but she was like 6 feet tall. And she had a smart mouth. Leslie is, I can't say that. Leslie creates and incites a lot of mess for no reason. So it makes the show good. Everything, it's the same, this show is the same issues with America's Next Top Model. Everything that's bad about the show is what makes the show good. Leslie incited a lot of mess for no freaking reason. She can't shut her mouth. Always talking. And the consequence always falls onto Peyton. The consequence always falls onto her child. So I don't know why she couldn't just be quiet. And most of the hills that Leslie was trying to die on made no type of sense. She was in the wrong in most of her arguments, but she was always trying to die on hills, and it's like, Leslie, nobody cares. Get up and move on to your next hill, okay? Next is Melissa. Melissa's a pushover. We all know that. This is my thing. I don't know why she didn't just own it, the fact that she wanted her kids to get ahead. Or your kids have a gift. Your kids are a gift. Your kids have a gift. You should do anything you can to push them ahead. However, Melissa just was like kind of wishy-washy because she would choose the wrong times to own the fact that she was a stage mom. She, like, for example, when Kalani and Maddie did that secret duet and Maddie lied to Chloe's face and Melissa lied to Christi's face, that was the hill she chose to die on. Not when these other mothers were clearly jealous of her 9-year-old child. She didn't want to argue there, but she wanted to argue when she was clearly in the wrong. I don't know what's not clicking. There were times where both Christi and Kelly were adamantly jealous of Maddie, a 9-year-old. And Melissa didn't want to fight then. But when she was in the wrong, that's when she wanted to die on the hill and say, I'm doing this for my kid. Not then. Girl, what's going on? Girl, that doesn't make any sort of sense. That makes no sense. I have to move on. No, I can't. These moms to Melissa, because they were so jealous of her 9-year-old child, would always cut deep. They go for her marriage. Every time they go back to like marriage, affair, cheating. And I'm like, for what? What does that bring to the conversation, Christi? It was always Christi. What does that bring to the conversation? Next mother is Jill. Here's the thing. Jill is confident in her mess. She knows she's messy. She knows she's shady and she doesn't care. I like that. I like that. I'm not Becky Home Ecky when she brought an old costume in like the first season that she was there. An iconic line. I love that line. My little Kendall. She has cute one-liners. So we know that her going to Candy Apples was faked. We all know that, right? So like I can't really talk about that. So Jill is funny. I think she's funny. I think she's a hoot. And she's an instigator of most of the mess on the show. So without her being there, most of the mess on the show wouldn't have happened. Jill was always talking into people's ear. She was talking into Christi's ear, trying to make her start mess. Talking into Kelly's ear, trying to make her start mess. Talking into Melissa's ear. She was talking to everybody's ear. Oh, Jill was messy. I liked it. However, why I don't like Jill. Always snide remarks. Always snide remarks about Nia. Always. Since the day she got on the show. And the day she got on the show, she had made it clear that she thinks Kendall's a better dancer than Nia. No comment. Nia beat Kendall multiple times. Also, Kendall beat Nia. So if anything, they're in competition with each other. One's not better. Again, no comment. Whenever they did duets, Jill was always mad that she didn't get a duet with Maddie. But when she got the duet with Maddie, she was mad again because she thought the duet with Maddie was too hard until that Kendall couldn't handle it. So what do you want, Jill? What do you want? Do you want the duet with Maddie or do you not want it? Because you can't pick a side. But what do you want, Jill? What does she truly want? Jill was always, this is the thing, Jill is an instigator. But you need an instigator on every single reality show. So, I'll leave it alone. However, we're not done. My little Kendall would be perfect for the role of Rosa Parks. Your little Kendall would be perfect for the role of Rosa Parks. Okay, Joe. Okay, Joe. That comment, I don't know if that was faked. Didn't sound fake. She sounded pretty genuine to me. Are we serious, Joe? Are we silly? Are we serious? Not even gonna blame it all on her because the fact that Abby even entertained that is insane in and of itself. But why would you do that, Joe? Jill. No comment. Next, Dr. Holly Frazier. I'm gonna say doctor every time. She has a doctorate, so she's a doctor. Dr. Holly Frazier, the only good mom on the show. We know that. We all knew that. We all knew that. Clearly my favorite, by how I just spoke highly of her. Clearly my favorite mom. Clearly the best mom out of all of them. Come on now. But so Nia had to go through ridiculous shit, obviously, and also so did Holly. Let's discuss. Whenever Holly spoke back to Abby, which was pretty rare, and when it did happen, it was always pretty respectfully. Abby immediately would always take the dances away from Nia. Holly has never cursed at Abby. In fact, Holly has never cursed on this show at all. But all of Nia's dances get taken away like that. The second she even speaks back to Abby, as if Abby has some sort of control over her. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Why was that, Abby? All of the other moms, most of the other moms, have cursed Abby out. As in, cursed her out. Multiple curse words. As Abby said, Christi yelled the F word 17 times. 17 times. It's sick! And nothing to Christi. She still came back, was still sitting up there the next day. Jill had multiple rampages where she was like, Kendall is the best one here and none of you deserve her. Had multiple of those, cursing everybody out. Nothing happened to her. Nothing happened to her. And we'll get to the Rosa Parks episode. We're getting here right now. Abby decided that she is a fashion icon and should give Holly a makeover. And she did that because she knew that Holly obviously wanted her daughters to be Rosa Parks, obviously, so she was holding it over her head. Why would Abby do this? Why would Holly be taking fashion advice from you, Abby? All your jewelry is organized by color. That's Christi's line, iconic line. Pink, red, plastic rhinestone crap. Green plastic rhinestone crap. Blue plastic rhinestone. That is what your jewelry looks like, Abby. Who are you to give fashion advice to somebody else? That makes no sense. And she did it because she knew Holly wanted Nia to play Rosa Parks. So rather than give her the role, she played games, mind games. Why was that only done to Holly, Abby? Why was that only done to Holly? The thing is with Holly whenever Holly read a girl, whenever Holly cleared a bitch, it was done with eloquence. And sometimes the moms wouldn't even realize that she just read them. The moms wouldn't whenever Leslie was on the show, Holly clearing her, it would fly over Leslie's head. She had no idea she was even being dragged. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Leslie wouldn't even know she was being dragged. Holly also she wasn't an instigator. She never created problems when there wasn't a problem. Now, when there was a problem, typecasting, racist microaggressions, Holly said, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. She was the only one who was truly there for the kid and said, okay, do whatever you want, but when it comes to my kid and her sanity and you treating her like with respect, because typecasting her every 6 seconds was not treating her with respect, now we have an issue. She would never yell at Abby. Imagine how they would have twisted it racially wise if Holly had ever had yelled at Abby the way all of those other moms had. Imagine the way they would have twisted that. I don't even want to. I don't even want to. Because Abby is ridiculous. Abby's scared of a purse. Kathy hit her with a purse and Abby won't ever get over it. Imagine what they would have done. Imagine what that show would have done. Imagine what Abby would have done. It would have been ridiculous. And I'm glad it didn't happen. And I feel bad because Holly could never really just like read her. Because it would have been twisted. Every single time it would have been twisted. Abby commenting all types of nonsense about Nia's hair every 6 seconds for no reason. Next, Kelly. So did Abby take out a lot of frustrations onto Brooke and Paige? Yes, because she was mad at Kelly. But why do you think Abby kept letting you come back? Why do you think after you had broken your contract over like 10,000 times, Abby was still allowing you back into her studio? Because she loves your kids. She does take out all her frustration on you onto her kids, but she genuinely enjoys your kids. Paige lights up a stage when she comes onto the stage. Lights up a stage. Why would Abby be putting up with your absolute shenanigans? Your shenanigans, jealousy, and vengeance for no reason. She didn't like your kid. Why do you think every time Peyton came onto this team, the second Brooke came back, Peyton was gone? Gone. Brooke has a once-in-a-lifetime God-given ability. God-given ability. Why do you think she kept taking her back? Paige draws your attention. Why did you think she just didn't duets in trios with Maddie and Chloe? Kelly, there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. At the end of season 3, when her and Abby had that breakdown, crying moment, it was like a good moment, but it didn't last long because Abby is Abby and Kelly is Kelly. That was a good moment. What you guys need is therapy. It'll never happen, obviously. What they needed is therapy because they caused some irreversible damage to the relationship between Abby, Brooke, and Paige. Irreversible damage due to the shenanigans on the show. Last mom is Christi. So, Christi is very funny. Christi has excellent one-liners. When she gave the nicknames to all the new moms in season 4, it was hilarious. Christi is very funny. Christi is also messy, but she never stands behind her mess, and that's why she pisses me off. I'm like, why are you always backtracking your mess? Be confident in your mess. You're a messy girl. That's okay. It's okay to be a messy girl. Stick behind it. But she was funny. She made me laugh. She's one of the most enjoyable moms. I'm about to read her. This is the thing. She's always projecting. Always projecting onto Melissa, onto Maddie, onto multiple different moms. She was always projecting. I don't know what it was because I don't know her, but there's something wrong there. She fights dirty and she likes to act like she doesn't fight dirty. Every time she's in an argument with Melissa, somehow marriage always comes up. Somehow affair always comes up. Why is that, Christi? Why are you always going for that? Can't I have just an argument with her? Really? And here's the thing. Abby did set Chloe up a lot, especially in later seasons, but towards the beginning of seasons 1 and 2, Abby is not stupid. Abby knows that Chloe is the most technically sound dancer on that team. She knows that. She stopped caring in seasons 3 and 4 because she started to have a vengeance towards Chloe. I don't know why. But at the beginning, she's not stupid. She knows that Chloe is the most technically sound dancer, and that's why it's that she created, because it was created, she created that rivalry between Maddie and Chloe because they were supposed to make each other better. Competition is good for, you know, competitors to do. But Christi always had an issue with everything. Some of it was warranted, some of it was justified, but she always was like, she was always feeding in the idea that Maddie was better than Chloe into her own kid's head. She wasn't, obviously she thinks her kid is good, but I also saw that, like, that whole idea, so Abby did put that onto Chloe, Maddie's better than you, but it also came from her mom. It also came from Christi. The idea that Maddie is better than you, so it's just like, it's like whatever. No, your daughter is gifted. Your daughter is so talented, and you're not confident in that. I don't understand that. Abby is not stupid. There's a reason Chloe's always in the front, unless it's a jazz or hip hop routine. There's a reason she's always in the front. She is the most technically sound dancer on the team. She was keeping your technique score afloat while the people in the back are dragging it down. I don't understand what's not clicking. I don't get what's not clicking. She's always been the top 2 dancers. Abby knows that. Abby knows that. Season 4 is a different story. Season 4 and post is a different story. Why do you think she's always there? It makes no sense to me. Christi was just always projecting. I don't like that. I don't like that. The moms in general, just as a whole, tended to have a little bit of a mean girl mentality, like whenever new moms came, and you could argue that it's because they didn't want a new person to take their spot, which is understandable, but they were always setting these new moms up, telling them to go talk to Abby. Why would you ever send someone to go talk to Abby? That's rude. Telling them to go talk to Abby, telling them to stand up to Abby, telling them to question Abby, as if any of that has ever worked for any of you who've been here 12 years. It was always... They were just rude. During season 3, when Abby had that open call at the beginning, and I think it was Shelly and Allie who won the open call, and they drove her away. They've been driving moms away forever because they're mean. Mean. It all stems down to jealousy. I don't know. It all stems down to jealousy. And of course, we can't talk about everything wrong with Dan Thomas without talking about the one, the only, Abby Lee Miller.
Mom's better have my money. Mom's better have my money.
What money? I don't have her money.
Swaggy Lee is in the house.
Oh my God.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Get off my back.
So, Abby took it too far. You could say Abby's a tough love teacher. Abby took it too far all the time. She took it too far. She would say things that's just like, why would you say that to a child? So she had her tough love mentality, and it's like, that's okay, but to be going after kids' insecurities, to be taking out your frustrations on their mothers, on the child, makes no type of sense. And she would always go back to, well, it's my teaching style and it works. Let's go back to season 3. There was a whole section of the season where Abby was not there. She was like judging at competitions. So Gianna and James were the coaches. And they were winning. They were winning. So clearly your teaching method is not the only teaching method that works. And when the moms bring it up and they're like, hey, you are bringing the rest of our kids down in order to bring one up. Why do you do that? It's always turned into a defense. It's always a defense because she can't admit. What is wrong with admitting that Maddie is your favorite? She is. It's obvious. Just admit it. Maddie is my favorite. Okay, I see what you guys are saying, but how I bring the other girls down to bring her up instead of just bringing her up. I'll work on that. No, Abby doesn't do that. Abby doesn't do that. And the thing that gets me most about teaching style, taking out your frustrations on adults, onto children, is a thing that has never sat right with me about Abby. Why are you taking out your frustrations with the mothers? Mothers should not be allowed in the dance studio, period. Period. Should never be allowed anywhere near where kids are, ever, ever. Kick them out. But I know it was for the show. But in real life, kick them out, okay? Oh, I thought that was a bird came way too close to my window. I'm so sorry. Now let's get to some common issues, common arguments, on Dance Moms and the issues that they created.
I'm yelling to my friend.
Then you're yelling at her.
Shush.
You had too much to drink.
Oh,
You better
whatever.
settle it down.
Bitch.
Stop!
Bitch.
Stop!
Kick your ass.
Stop! Sorry, I'm sorry. Don't hit me.
So, Candy Apples versus the Abby Lee Dance Company. Kathy is a joke. Why can't you choreograph your own routine, Kathy? Why? Do you not know how? I don't think she knows how. She would bring in all these guest choreographers who were bad. I'll say it. I'll be the one to say it. I'm not sure if the choreographers were actually bad, but I do know they did not know how to choreograph for those kids and for those skill sets. Kathy got some of the most talented dancers in the country on her team. I don't know how. Money. But the choreographers didn't know how to choreograph for them. They sucked. They sucked. All the routines were bad. Candy Apples had some of the worst routines I have ever seen in my entire life. And she had super talented dancers. So I was like, what's not clicking? Oh, it's because you don't know how to coach or choreograph or do anything. She just plucks super talented kids who happen to have crazy stage parents. And is like, let's create a team. Her team seemed like its own production. It seemed like its own show. It seemed like if there was a show focused around the Candy Apples, I wouldn't watch it, but I feel like it would be constant turmoil. She was changing the team every 5 episodes. Everyone kicked out, come in, kicked out again, come back. It was chaos. Kathy was a load of chaos and a loser. I'm saying it. I'm saying it. It was always a gimmick and it never worked. And that's why the ALDC always won. That's why they were better. They also had good choreography. So that probably helped a little bit. And also Kathy's, the choreographers never went with the strength of the kids. They went with the strength of themselves. Especially Anthony, that choreographer that came. He went for what his own strengths were and not the strengths of the actual dancers. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Next is the new team. So in season 4, Abby Lee made a whole new competition team. It was a joke. The reason why that never worked is because no other studio in the country has their dancers learn like 3 new dances every week and compete every single weekend with a new dance. Nobody does that. That's why it was so hard for you to find people who could do that. Because that's ridiculous. And the new team that she made was a bunch of 15, 16-year-olds and 2 10-year-olds. That's why they were winning. Abby, oh my God. Oh my, it's like you have 4 15-year-olds on your team and then 2 10-year-olds to bring the age down to the junior division. And they kept winning. Why do you think that way? Why do you think that happened? Because you have all these old people on your team, Abby. Come on now. Come on now. And the moms did the same. This is the thing, how I said the moms are all mean girls. They would do the same thing they accused Melissa of. They would just do it to these other new girls. They were setting them up. Sending them down to talk to Abby as if that would ever work. That never ever works. Mean girl mentality. And it's probably like, well, they didn't want them to replace them on the team. Okay, why weren't you just confident in your kid's ability? Your kids are the 3-time national title winner. Why weren't you just confident in your kid's own ability? Why did you have to be a vindictive bully to these new moms and their girls? They would have seen themselves out eventually. Because your kids are actually very talented. While we're talking about arguments, the best fights on Dance Moms. So Christi versus Kelly. So this was, it doesn't make a lot of sense, this argument. That's why I think it was sort of kind of staged, because it was all projection central station. Like, Christi was mad that Kelly didn't call her, but then Kelly said, no, I did call. It was very middle school. It was very petty for no reason. But I was Team Kelly. Christi was off her rocker. Christi was just saying stuff, was caught up in lies. She ended up going down and screaming at a child. She went down and screamed at Paige. That, I said, because I used to like Christi. Christi used to be one of my favorite moms. That, when she went down and screamed in Paige's face, I was like, no. No. Who does that to a child? Because you're in an argument with her mother, you go down and scream in a child's face. That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. Next best fight, Kathy versus Abby, water and purse. Enough said. Enough said. And then Leslie versus Christi in season 3 Nationals in New Orleans. This is how I knew Christi was all talk, because Leslie was coming at her and Christi was running away. That's what happened in that fight. Leslie, all of the pent-up aggression that Leslie has had for the past 3 seasons came out in that fight. She wanted to kill her. She wanted to kill her, and it ended in an absolute disaster. Abby had to send home her most technically sound dancer 24 hours before Nationals. And then, of course, the best fight in Dance Moms history, Kelly versus Abby. Get your finger out of my face. The dingbat argument. What a time. What a moment. Absolutely detrimental to the children, but what a great moment in time for the audience to love. Okay? And that brings me to the major issue with Dance Moms. It's the same thing that was the issue with America's Next Top Model. The things that make this show great make it horrible. Could you imagine being on this show? I want you to take a step back. Could you imagine being one of the children on this show? I definitely had an entire plan to get on the show, but I'm glad I never went through with it, because I could not imagine being on the show. This show has the potential, I don't know if it actually did because I don't know any of these kids, had the potential to absolutely destroy the mental health of these children. Absolutely destroy. You are on national television every single week in front of millions of people. People that don't even know you are picking you apart. People that don't even know you are picking you apart. People are picking sides between children. 10-year-old children. You have a lunatic teaching you dance. Your mom and your friends' moms are constantly getting into fights for this television show. That can't be good. That can't be good for their mental. It can't be good, in my opinion. Not in my opinion, it's probably fact. I hope the show didn't affect them in the way that it could have. I really hope and pray. But the potential damages that this could have done, that's the major issue with this show, is everything that made it good, everything that made it probably the best reality show of all time, seasons 1 through 5, made this show terrible. That's everything wrong with Dance Moms. Is this whole video could have been 5 minutes long, and I could have been just like, could you imagine millions of people watching you every single week, that people know reality TV is fake, but they don't but like, we're all aware that reality TV is fake, but we're not able to put that into our real lives and be like, this is probably a facade. And now you're creating arguments between people, pitting 2 children, Maddie and Chloe, against each other. Constant trend throughout the entire TV show, that constant argument, Maddie versus Chloe. 2 children. You're seeing, if it's all staged, I don't know, but either way, whether it's staged or not, you are still ruining these children. You have this crazy person yelling, screaming, digging at all their insecurities every single week. Your mothers are adding to the problem, not helping. None of these mothers were helping. Adding to the problem. That's not good. That's not good. So I hope all the kids are doing well. I hope and pray, because this show could have done some serious damage. And then let's end this on the happy note. What did Dance Moms do for society? Everybody wanted to dance. Everybody wanted to dance when Dance Moms came out. Are you kidding me? I know dance studios, if dance studios didn't capitalize on the fact that Dance Moms was a cultural phenomenon, that was you fumbled the bag. You fumbled the bag. Everybody wanted to dance when Dance Moms was on. Everyone's dance, please. Dance Moms was also, I think, the last reality show that I tuned in for. I watched every single week. Every single week I was there watching Dance Moms. I haven't done that in years. I haven't done that in years. Cultural reset. That's what I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Everyone remembers Dance Moms. Everyone had a clear favorite. Everyone had a clear favorite mom. Cultural reset. And then some of my favorite dances, Maddie and Chloe duets were always good. Always good. There's not a bad one, but my favorites were We're All Right and the Swan one from season 1. And then Mackenzie doing Cry. What a moment. It made me stand her because I'm like, are you kidding me? You got set up and you delivered like that. I love it. I love it. Another one, Just Be, which was choreographed by Gianna and James. That whole chunk, actually, when Abby was not there, was very, very good. Nia's Broadway Baby, obviously, it was incredible. Then the Gold Digger dance where Paige was finally front and center when, like, that Rachel girl, she came and she choreographed from them, the whole, like, Fosse stuff. I loved that. Brooke's Garden of Eden dance, go watch it if you haven't watched it in a while. The girl has a gift. The vampire, and then the last one is that vampire dance with Nick when it was Brooke, Chloe, and Maddie, and Nick did it as like a group dance. Their best group dance ever, ever. And you notice the 3 girls she picked, Maddie, Chloe, and Brooke. And that's it. Woo. I've been talking for like an hour and a half, I'm pretty sure. So I don't know how long this video is gonna be. Sorry if it's long in advance. I talk a lot, I'm sorry. So yeah, that is the end of this video. That was everything wrong with Dance Moms. I pretty much got to it all. There's something that I wasn't able to get to because, again, this video is very, very long. But yeah, that's everything wrong with Dance Moms. So let's have a conversation in the comments. Tell me who your favorite girl was and who your favorite mom was. Let's talk. And yes, if you would like to see any of my other everything wrong with, I've done Victorious, iCarly, Glee, America's Next Top Model. So Victorious, iCarly, Glee, America's Next Top Model, and Grownish. I forgot, because I'm trying to forget that show ever happened. All right, so yeah, if you'd like to see any of those, they're gonna be on your screen now. And if you'd like to follow me on social media, here's my Twitter and my Instagram. Go peruse and enjoy, have so much fun. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Hoping you're staying healthy and safe inside your homes. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.